Regardless, Rey immediately leaves for the First Order fleet and Luke decides to burn down the Jedi Temple. This is such a strange decision for him to make after the conversation he just had, but before we have time to understand it, the Force ghost of Yoda makes an appearance. Yoda performs Luke's task for him and burns down the tree with a lightning strike from above. This one action creates a solid foundational argument for the difference in how people value rules within a story being told. Why does it matter that a ghost of a puppet is summoning lightning and laughing about it? Can't you simply enjoy the film? Why do you have to take this seriously? Well, Star Wars, the original trilogy, explained Force ghosts very sparingly. We didn't even understand what they really were. We don't even know if they're being seen only by the people viewing them. We assumed that they couldn't do anything but talk to the person they were watching over. The Force ghosts would provide insight, encouragement, and advice for the journey of the character. In reality, I think they were just invented so that Alec Guinness could actually have a part in the second and third of the trilogy. Ultimately, though, they were very reserved in terms of power. They didn't really have any. But now they have power. Real power. They have real influence on the world.
Reckless is he. Now, matters are worse.
That boy is our last hope.
Yoda and Obi-Wan, when speaking to each other in the originals, had goals in mind. They wanted to defeat the Empire. They wanted to defeat the Sith. So now that this power has been added to the canon, why don't they summon lightning to protect their loved ones and destroy their enemies? Why haven't they defeated the First Order or the Empire previously with these abilities? Why don't they hit people? Yoda is shown to be able to do it. Why is this the first time we're seeing it in 8 episodes? Why does it come across like this is a child writing the script again? The idea that a puppet ghost making lightning exploding a tree and making Luke shout no is a wonderful little idea, but you need the voice in your head that says, this is not going to play well on screen. This is going to cause issues. Like I said, co-writer, script doctor, law specialist. They would have prevented this nonsense from happening. Yoda then brings some much needed levity to the film. He talks about the more written and focused side of the Jedi, and the fact that it's something that is okay to be forgotten or at the very least devalued, as it does not contain anything that Rey does not already possess. I find this line hard to swallow if he's talking about the understanding of the Force or the Jedi and the balance, since she's only received half a singular lesson, a lesson that was supposed to convince her not to be a Jedi. But we realize that Yoda is actually referring to something else with this line. Yoda then points out a flaw in Luke Skywalker. He always looks to the horizon, the future, the possibilities instead of what's in front of him at the present. This helps inform his mistakes with Kylo, but there is no saving the character at this point. Luke says another clunkily written line, very much like a defeated husk. I was weak, I was unwise. As if one sentence from Yoda has completely changed Luke's hard-set perspective that he developed over 30 years. Another example of how weak-willed and shallow his character is. This also raises the question of where has Yoda been while Luke has been spiraling into this new and interesting character over 30 years, especially if it took one sentence to bring him back from his perspective. Where was Yoda when Kylo was created? Where were any of the Force ghosts? Yoda then says Luke needs to pass on what he is to Rey, not just skill and mastery, but failure too, as failure is the best teacher. This is a wonderful line that would have been so much more endearing in a well-written film. Unfortunately, this is all people need to think about when discussing whether or not this film is well written as a whole. This is referenced everywhere and it hurts my brain. Not to mention that Yoda says that he won't just need to pass on skill and mastery, when the irony is that Rey is already well ahead of Luke in terms of skill with hand-to-hand and mastery of the Force. But whatever, it sounded cool.